Time for another Shoky Black Series Quickie review, and this time we're going to be taking a look at the first edition, Premier Edition, Mandalorian. And I did pick this up at GameStop on, of course, Friday. It's the first thing I went for. And of course, the white boxes really stand out. Though, frankly, the white box means nothing unless you're one of those people who just like to keep stuff in box. And I'm sorry, you're going to be very, very sad here in about 3 minutes, probably. But going at it right now, of course, you got the new white box stuff. There's literally no difference. So you got Mandalorian in his plastic prison, the very inconvenient GameStop sticker, but at least in this case, they didn't put it on the box for you guys who really like some mint cards. And nice little image of Mandy, as people keep calling it, or Manda. Mandalorian right there, ages 4+. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. Hasbro logo, black and white down there. Come on this side, it is number 94. It says Le Mandalorian. And come around to here. Holy crap. One thing that's really difficult is filming white things, and this is so strange. It doesn't know how to correct for the lighting. So, his body is shielded by Beskar armor. His face is hidden behind a T-visored mask, and his past is wrapped in mystery. Mandalorian is battle-worn, tight-lipped, formidable bounty hunter in an increasingly dangerous galaxy. Yes. Now, I would actually like to watch the Mandalorian series when it comes out here, I think on November 5th or 6th. I forget when it comes out. But I don't have the Disney Plus thing. That is the only place you can see it. Though, given that Jon Favreau's behind it, it does seem to have a very awesome cast, including at least one episode that Bill Burr is in, which seems pretty cool. I hope we actually get a figure for his character, because frankly, I would like to have a little Bill Burr figure. Just crazy like that. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and look at Mandy here, because so far I think he looks pretty cool. Alright guys, so just out of the box reactions, he's pretty cool. The details are very nice. The paintwork is very cool. But the main issue I have is where that gun has to mount. The tab was too big to go into the hole, so I had to trim it down just a little bit. But the hole itself is so much shallower than the tab that it doesn't really ever snug up. And the fact that it doesn't like adequately hide behind his cape is kind of annoying. Like, I know his cape is more or less meant to be off to one side, but it's kind of annoying that it doesn't just do the thing. Now, I'm pretty sure that's the way it's supposed to go, because it wouldn't seem to make sense to have the bulk of his rifle actually sticking up and out over his shoulders. I think it'd be a little difficult to get through doors that way. But otherwise, I like the mold. I think it looks pretty cool, and comparatively, the only other Mandalorian I have is Boba Fett. So, there's that. Speaking of which, bring him out. So the archive series version of Boba Fett. So you can see that, Mandalorians share a lot of stuff in common. Generally, they have the T-shaped visor. The armor itself is very similar, though obviously different, and does seem to be just as beam weapon proof as we saw in the trailer, where he's being shot and the beams are just ricocheting off of him. And of course, you get all the nice battle damage, stuff like that. But Boba Fett seems to be taller. Now, he's not actually a clone of Jango Fett, like, a certain number of troopers are. He's actually his own person, in fact, in the show played by Pedro Pascal, which, at this point, we don't actually know if he'll ever take his helmet off, which is actually pretty interesting. For a good-named, well-recognized actor to play a fully masked character will be very interesting. Now, if you look at it from this side, the cape is not fabric. It is just done up. Looks like canvas. Feels cool. I like the leathery feel of it. I dig this type of plastic. So if it's just meant to be stagnant and weighted, it actually has some good weight to it and stays, unlike with Boba Fett's, which is actually a fabric piece. Now, the rifle, as I said, does just plug into there, and zoom in here, and you can see how that hole has to line up. So there's that, and then it also has to line up with this band, and man, does that remind me of like the old school 80s Ninja Turtle figures. Like, really. And then push the cape out of the way a little bit here, and you see what looks to be his holster, or his pistol. I said it looks to be. Definitely a holster for the pistol, which is pretty cool. I like the totally encapsulated trigger guard area, and presumably he'll hold that. I don't actually know. I haven't tried. But he's supposed to have this, so he may as well hold it, right? in theory. Okay, so he can hold his pistol. Finger doesn't go through the trigger hole, but it lines up to it, more or less. And one thing I'm finding interesting, so obviously this guy has been through wars, most of them, but he's definitely got some Scarif Shore Trooper armor on. Anybody else notice that? You know, if maybe both thighs, or the thigh, and then that whole right side armor definitely looks like Scarif Shore Troopers from Rogue One. But mind you, this is post Jedi. So this is after the fall of the Empire, and the Mandalorians, whatever's left of them, is, in this case, he's a bounty hunter trying to make his way in the world and keep surviving because there ain't a whole lot of them left. So, looks pretty good. Let's see here. Let's go with articulation just real quick before we look at that. Feels like a double ball joint with the way it moves so easily. It's like super easy to move. Neck is moving, and so is the head. It looks like kind of hard to tell though. I like the rustiness on the helmet. Looks pretty good. And I've seen the carbonized version of it, not in hand, but I've seen it, and it's a much more chromy helmet. I actually dig this better, but I like the body on the carbonized version. One problem he's definitely going to have is those shoulder armor bits getting in the way, but they're just loose enough to come up and over his main body, at least on the left side. The right side seems to be a bit tighter. So that's one thing you always have to look out for, because you may pop those things off. Whereas Boba Fett's actually are molded to his arm, not a separate piece glued in. Body seems like a double ball joint setup, possibly. And of course, his bandolier kind of strap here does hold everything in place. He does have this nice symbol in the middle of his chest. He's got an Iron Man reactor. Nice deco there on the bandolier. You got whatever canisters or weapons or whatever the heck they are everywhere. Got dry brushing and splats and battle damage all over the place. L bicep rotation there. Single jointed elbow. Don't ever do that. Got his nice wrist armor here. Gauntlets. And that. I don't like the color of his fingertips. Like, if those are supposed to be his hands, he's like Frankenstein dying. Like, that is some nasty, nasty yellow. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if that's the color of his gloves, which would be really off-putting, or if that's the color of his skin, which is equally as off-putting. Hips are just standard T-mounted ball joints. It does rotate at the thighs. Just watch out for that thigh armor. So you can say this is like his original armor, and then this is definitely borrowed. Oof, that is weird. So that knee guard is mostly there to cover up a really nasty double-jointed knee that doesn't do a great job. Different molded stuff. We got different pouches and things per leg. And the armor doesn't even match. So you got some leather, you got some other stuff. I don't know why this is a totally different texture or color. And some nice silver right there. So it's got some good stuff, but it looks like they skimped on a couple details. Like this band could have been a different color. That band could have been a different color. Stuff like that. And once again, his cape is just weird. I think it's supposed to be offset, like mostly over to his left shoulder. Kinda. Because it does seem to hang there. I'm guessing this might be a hood as well, but he definitely puts it up. And you could probably pull the helmet off and remove it, but I don't know if that's worth it. So let's take a look at his gun as it is. His gun slash taser device slash bayonet sword staff. It's very long. Kind of Remington inspired weapon there. It looks pretty cool. Molding is pretty nice. Gunmetal here. Just some nice brown. Could be plastic. I think it's molded in this brown and then painted the rest of the colors. Although this looks like it's the base color. Yeah, so the brown and the metallic is all painted on. The pitchfork end down here, which I bet he can stun people with without having to shoot them. Got a little scope mounted there. Just nice details all over this thing. Looks nice, but the way it mounts is really stupid. And how does he hold this? Like, usually for a rifle grip, you really want a more relaxed hand. This is going to be awkward. Like, I don't know that he can actually hold this as a rifle. Not so much, no. No, not really. And this is just a basic holding hand, so there's not going to be a whole lot of using that the way you're supposed to, from what I can gather. Now, he can probably just hold it, but this seems like an accessory that's not going to be used to its full extent. This looks like something that's just going to be there. Like you might be able to... Look at that, I scraped paint. Look at that, trying to get it in the hand. I totally scraped the crap out of that. Is that paint that came off the hand? Or it came off the barrel? That's terrible. I can't tell which way the transfer happened, but... I mean, a little bit of weathering, I guess, won't hurt it, but... I think for the most part, he's just going to have this mounted to his back. Like, I'm just going to try to plug it in there. And I did actually trim that peg down ever so much to get it to fit, but now I kind of want it to be trimmed down even more. Hold on. So I cut off a little bit more, because that's going to be like permanently on his back, which is likely what's going to happen here. I wanted it to be a bit more snug, and I'll probably end up super gluing that in place, if I'm honest, because it seems like a really dumb accessory that he doesn't actually have the ability to use at all, which means it's just a storable accessory, which doesn't do me any good. But it's a good looking figure. Hopefully it will be a good series. Honestly, I think it will be. But just bring out somebody else from the wave with the second sister Inquisitor, who's significantly shorter, but definitely not from the same series. If Inquisitors show up, that'll be very interesting, because this is a non-Jedi series. It's definitely all about the seedy underbelly of the galaxy. But I know that one particular reviewer is going to be super happy about that. But just for the heck of it, I'll throw out Lando for comparison. But yeah. So the figure has plenty of good things, but some not so great things either. Like, I don't know what happened just now with that finger paint versus the gun, and the fact that he can't hold that rifle in a meaningful way. If they give him another hand, that's one thing they never do. They never give you backup hands for any kind of characters from this. I don't know if I'll pick up any other Mandalorian characters unless they do, like Bill Burr specifically, or maybe some of the Trooper guys. We'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up. Let me know if you're planning on watching, if you have Disney Plus already, if you're going to get that just for the series, kind of like myself. If there's a trial, I'll wait and I'll just watch the entire series on a trial basis, like I did with Game of Thrones. But like I said, it looks pretty neat. And of course, in this show, he's incredibly awesome. But I'll catch you on the next review, guys. And remember, as always, keep on nerding.